First, before I begin, this is just an overview of my makeup kit. Here's what it looks like. It's a suitcase, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to show that as a whole.
Hey Ghost and Ghouls! Welcome back to my channel. I'm here again with Ashlin! Yay! Alright, the excitement. Alright, so for today's video, we are going to be showing you the basics that you should have in a special effects makeup kit, mostly because I know, like, when you start out, because we both had to start out at some point, yeah, it's usually, you don't know what you should have. I mean, I know I struggled really badly, because I didn't know what to have, what was good, what was bad. I don't know if you did that.
I started off with glue and tissues.
Yeah, so by that, we want to show you, we're going to show you my special effects makeup kit, and we'll tell you basically all the things you should have in it. So without further ado, let's go into the video. So the first thing you should have in your special effects kit, and one of the most important things I think you should have, is liquid latex. Okay, we said that carefully, but yeah, true. Alright, now what liquid latex does, for those of you who don't know, by the way, if you're allergic to latex, do not use it, or if you're going to be doing like special effects on other people, and they're allergic, don't use this. Use gelatin or something else.
Always ask.
Always ask, yes, me before I use it, I always ask someone, are you allergic to liquid latex, because this is a common thing people are allergic to. I'm not saying like everyone, but
A lot of people.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that are allergic to this. But liquid latex is basically what you use to make your prosthetics. And for instance, like when I apply the liquid latex on my things, like, yeah, that's what you use liquid latex for, is to make prosthetics. So, but maybe I'll make a video in the future of how to use liquid latex.
And if you don't know, you can check her other videos too.
Yes, very true, very true. Thank you for that. But this is one thing that you need, but it's one of the most important things. But let's move on to something else. Another very popular thing that you should have in a special effects makeup kit that's probably important is blood. Blood. I love blood. So weird. Okay, so now, not just any blood. As you know, in most of my special effects videos, I'm always using different types of blood. Now, this is like my bottle of blood. I got it from Spirit Halloween. I don't want to fully pour it. I have like this in different sizes and shapes, but
oh gosh, do you just want to like?
I don't want to pour it. Okay, nah, let's not pour it. Let's not pour it. Okay, this blood though is just a runny blood.
It's liquid, basically.
Like, it's like if I cut myself open, blood pouring out. That's the kind of blood it's supposed to be used for. Now, you always want a runny blood, but you also want a thicker blood. And this is called Bloody Mary. And no, not the Urban Legend, which you should check out my Urban Legend video on Bloody Mary. Anyways, as you can see with this one, it's like a lot thicker.
It's like thicker than ketchup.
Yeah, it's really thick, and when you apply it, it doesn't move that well. I would show you, but this blood is always a lot more expensive. Like, this was like $7 for this whole jar, and it's a pint, or jar. Yeah, this was $20 for this little thing. But it works really well, but you always want thick bloods, and like thick, darker bloods that won't move, and you also want thinner, lighter, runnier bloods.
And there are different brands, so depending on your specific needs,
yeah,
I would say search around before you buy a certain type of blood.
Yeah, and also I would recommend not getting, I'm not saying you shouldn't get cheap blood, but like, let's look at this thing, for instance. This is a fake blood. If I put it on, I don't think that's that believable, to be honest. It looks like jelly. So yeah, look at the textures and like everything else when you're getting it, just an FYI, but let's move on. The next item you should have in a basic special effects makeup kit is sponges. Now, as you see, I have different sponges. Some are more used. Also, this is this thingy. It's like really, it's squishy, it's like a sponge, but it's not a regular sponge. This is what you use when you dab it. It splatters the blood.
It's called a stipple sponge.
Yes, a stipple sponge. That was the word I was looking for. Yeah, stipple sponges. They splatter the blood when you splatter it. Yeah, it gives that splatter effect. Now, these are regular sponges. You can use them to apply like creams and powders and stuff. I would not recommend using these for latex, though. I'll get into what to use for that, because these things are more expensive and you don't want to waste them. But these sponges are great because, like, as you can see, you can rip off parts that you don't need, and these are great.
A tip for the ripping off is if you don't want to buy two different sponges, like say you wanted to get a stipple sponge, and you have cheap sponges, rip off the edges of one side, and then you can use it as a stipple sponge.
Yes, that is also a very cheap way to do it. That is also...
I'm cheap.
Yes, we're all cheap, but let's move on to the next thing. Next thing you should have, which you can even find these in your household, because I know I do, is Q-tips
and cups.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's fine. Paper cups. Paper cups to be exact. Now, as I was saying earlier with the sponges, and why you don't want to use these to apply latex is because latex is very sticky. It's horrible to get off of things. Especially,
don't use brushes.
Oh no,
Do not.
Yeah, I used to do that, and now my brushes are glued together, and I have to throw them out. But with Q-tips, very easy. You dab it. It's a common household item, not that expensive. You can throw them out afterwards. And this you can put your latex in cups. Granted, these are frozen cups, but I don't think you have to get those. But they're really good to use just to throw out. Really simple stuff. But also for latex, you're gonna want very simple household item. I think we all should have is like toilet paper. Or tissue, because that's what you make your prosthetic with, which again, look at my other special effects if you want to see how to make prosthetics, and also in the future, look for a prosthetic video. But let's move on to something else. As we mentioned earlier, another thing you should have is brushes.
Or brushes.
Or brushes. Okay, anyways, for brushes, I got this from Michael's for like $10, and as you can see, like we have this brush, it's really tiny, and then we have like this brush, which is a lot thicker. And then we have like different shapes and sizes of brushes. I even have like an airbrush right here. But it's always good to have different shapes and sizes for brushes for applying things like paints or grease paints. Like even, well, I wouldn't really recommend using blood with this, but you can apply blood with these. Just not, I don't use them for applying blood, but these are really great for applying things like that. And they're very important to have in a special effects kit, but let's move on. Now this next item, it is a great thing to have in your special effects kit, especially if you do the pop art and body painting, but you should definitely have paint. And particularly like paint that can go on your skin. This is like facial paints. I have like a bunch more, but I grabbed 2. I got them for like a few, these are really cheap. I got them like for $1 or $2 at Spirit Halloween and like Party City and stuff. But these,
City has them for $1.
yeah, Party City's a lot cheaper, but I prefer Spirit Halloween's bottles. Yeah. Just saying.
They're a little bit better.
Yeah, a little bit more, but a little bit bigger and better. But you should definitely get these if you're really into the painting and pop art, because I'm just saying, I don't do a whole lot of pop art painting, but they're helpful with a lot of things like that. But let's move on to the next thing. A very important item you should have in your special effects kit, which usually are in households, is Vaseline. Now the reason for this, which you've seen in my videos, I've applied it on my face before, like eyebrows and hair. You do that so the latex does not stick, because I can promise you, I've made prosthetic where it's covered half my face and it's been on my whole entire eyebrow. And without this, my eyebrow would have been missing. So get Vaseline. It's really helpful. But let's move on. Another very useful thing for your special effects kit is grease paints. Now these are Ben & I, which don't get me wrong, this was like $15 per color wheel. They're expensive.
They're so worth it though.
Yeah, they are. They really are. Like this one is burns and blisters right here. This one is severe exposure. And these are really good to have for your shadings, for better effects. Yeah, can we hold this? This is, yeah, she's gonna look. This is also my injury stack from Spirit Halloween. It's great for bruising, color wheels and stuff. Grease paints, they're really good when you want to make injuries, like, yeah, burns, bruises, except even cuts, adding infection. Yeah, those are something that, like, you really do need to have. At first, when you start out, this was literally, clumsiness. This was literally the first thing I ever had for my special effects, like, to use. Like, this was the first thing I ever got, and it actually works pretty well. Like, you don't need to get a whole lot when you're starting out, because don't buy a bunch of things if you're not really sure, but let's keep going. So here's a few items that they're nice. You don't have to have them in your kit, but they're just little nice added effects. Glue sticks, I mean, yeah, it's a basic household item, it's good to have, but you can put them on your eyebrows if you want to hide them. It actually works pretty well.
Yeah, it does.
Scissors are fun to have too. They're good for like tearing up prosthetic.
Be careful.
Yes, be careful. Be very, very careful. Also, I wanted to point out bald cap. I have a bald cap, yes. If you don't really need these for like everything, but if you ever want to do something where like you want to apply wigs or even just make someone bald, these are useful to have. Also, I have zombie dust right here, which is good for like adding like a dirt effect or for like just a regular zombie thing. I'm watching you. cheap little vampire fangs. Those are always fun to have just in case you want to do something vampire-y, but you don't need them. There's also string right here, yarn for like a stitch effect if you want to do that. Like, even if you get like staples, that's also nice to have. Like, it's fun. This stuff right here is called rigid collodion.
Rigid collodion.
Rigid collodion, and it squeezes your skin together. I know that sounds painful, it's not as bad as you think, but it really adds a great blister effect. And also, I have right here, I don't remember how much it was, I got it off of Amazon, it's a wax carving kit. And this is really good to have. It's not like a must-have, but it's really great when you want to tear up prosthetic, or if you want to, like, if you need to get that last little scoop of blood out of the jar, it works great for that too. But that is pretty much a tour of my makeup kit. So now you know what it looks like, you stalkers. Okay, so that's the basics of my makeup kit. Yay! Or just a beginner special effects makeup kit. I have more in there, but I just didn't want to go through what everything was that you should have. But one thing I do want to point out, which I mentioned earlier, don't buy like a bunch of items. Like, don't buy like a ton of prosthetics or waste all your money if you're not sure if you want to do this. Like, if you're just starting out, get the basic, get the cheap stuff, see if you like it, because that's what I did, and I ended up loving it, so I bought more. So it makes sense. But if you're not that into it, or you're not sure if you're gonna like it, don't waste all your money.
Yeah.
But that is it for this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if it helped you out in any way, or if you want to see me make a prosthetic video, or how to make prosthetics, because those are also useful to know. Also, leave a comment down below telling me what you thought of this video, what else you want to see me do. I do take suggestions.
She does.
I do. Trust me, I actually do listen to what you guys say, even though I don't respond to your comments until like a week later, which I do respond to your comments, by the way, so yay! Also, make sure to subscribe. I make new videos every single week. Granted, I haven't been as persistent, but I make new videos every single week, so go check that out. Or, yeah, you should subscribe to check that out. Follow my social media. All of that is down below. Instagram and all the other ones that I don't really use. I just use Instagram.
Her website, too.
queenofhorror.com. Go check that out. That's where I post everything horror, even though I should update that more. But still check it out. But until next time, bye, guys! And just remember, always say goodbye.